in those moments, I think about people that I admire, and one person that I admire besides Gene White is Viktor Frankl. Who knows Viktor Frankl? Yes. Who is Viktor Frankl? Yes, he was a psychiatrist that wrote a book, but not just like, oh, I want to write a book. No, not like that. The guy was a psychiatrist in the 1930s, so about 100 years ago, in Vienna. He was Jewish, and he had some thoughts and ideas and insights about what was about to happen. He got a chance to actually emigrate from the US, from Austria to the United States, based upon his academic credentials. He chose not to do it. Chose not to do it. He chose to stay because his parents couldn't come. He ended up in 4 concentration camps, and all the while he kept a sense of awareness, curiosity, connectedness going. Imagine that, asking questions to himself like, how do people make it through here? How do some people even seem to have moments of joy, service? What is that about? He stayed curious, even about the concentration camp experience. And when I think about that, I think, if he can do that, I can surely do it in a classroom, or in a meeting room, or at breakfast with my husband when he disagrees with me, or something like that. I can surely do that. But I have to remind myself, and the mind is like a dangerous neighborhood. It's better not to go there by myself. So I asked Viktor Frankl to join me. And then there's a specific thing that he wrote in Man's Search for Meaning, which is on page 6 of your handout. And if you don't have the handout, you get a PDF, all of us, so you can read this. Viktor Frankl wrote a couple of weeks after he was liberated from the concentration camp, I think in 1945. We who lived in concentration camps can remember the men who walked through the huts, comforting others, giving away their last piece of bread. They may have been few in number, but they offer sufficient proof that everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms. To choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. To choose one's own way. So do we always have a choice? Very personal question. Very deep question. Do we always have a choice? I believe we do. Not with what happens to us. I'm not into that kind of thinking. Like if I'm perfectly pure, then everything is going to be perfect. No. But I have a choice how I respond, from what values I respond, who I choose to be, given the challenge that's given to me. But who I choose to be doesn't change. That's my choice. Or maybe it does change, but it's my choice to change it. So that's the question I'd like to leave you with tonight. To me, this is a question that has occupied my life. Who am I? Who are you? You are probably not what your crocodile tells you you are. We are probably much bigger than that. First thing is to be aware there are different parts of us that will inform us, that will try to convince us of our smallness, of our crocodilianness, of our disconnectedness. I saw that again on November 5 with the elections. We're so quick to other. Who's talking when we're othering? Is it the owl or the crocodile? It's the crocodile. My wise brain sees the connection between us all and looks for a wise way to respond, not to judge, to respond, not to react, to be here. So, to practice this, when you're stressed, first thing you do is what? You press the pause button. Then you ask, who's talking right now, the owl or the? And then we learned another question. What gives me peace in my heart and pride in my actions? And the last thing that we learned was about that we always have a choice. If you like this kind of thinking, read Man's Search for Meaning. Read maybe Taming Your Crocodiles, a book I wrote about this stuff too. Or any of a plethora of books about it, and most importantly, have conversations with yourself and with each other about it. How do I make sure I create connectedness to my higher wisdom, to each other, and to my purpose? Thank you for your attention. Loved your engagement. Have a great night.